Hey guys, I'm CM Best. I'm a nerd, but if you've seen any of the videos on this channel, then you probably already knew that. I've been playing trading card games since I was very young, and so I, for some reason, thought that it would be a good idea to challenge myself and make one of my own. Welcome to episode 1 of making a TCG with zero experience. I'm not actually sure if that's what this series is going to be called, but you know what? That's what I'm going to be calling it in this episode. Okay, the first thing I'm going to be doing in this episode is telling you the idea of my TCG. So, let's start with the theme. I am basing this TCG off of a roleplay I did with some of my friends a while ago. The roleplay is based on... The roleplay is based in the world of fairy tales, and is about 3 teenagers who are living in it. My 3 friends, Austin, Miles, and Quinley. Now, the world of fairy tales is currently covered in shadow, for the all-powerful sorceress, the dark fairy herself, who once put Cinderella and her kingdom to sleep for 100 years, has returned and blotted out the sun with her power and her hordes of monsters. It is up to these 3 teenagers to stop her. And you might be wondering how they're going to do that, since they're literally just teenagers. Well, each of them has a magical ring that gives them special abilities. Quinley's ring gives her the power of healing on touch and super speed. The only thing Quinley can't heal is if someone's actually dead. Okay, Austin's ring gives him the powers to wield fire and to, forge. How do I put this into words? You'll understand. Oh, right. Basically, boom, 2 scraps of metal, bam, it's a sword, okay? He can, forge stuff. I don't know how else to say it. And Miles's 2 abilities are super strength and laser eyes. So, I will be making those 3 characters the base cards for this game. Okay, now that I've explained the theme of the game, I am going to explain the gameplay. So, there are going to be 2 players, maybe more. I don't know if you'll be able to play this with more than 2. But anyway, each player has a deck. The decks are going to be based on colors. I haven't decided types or anything yet for the cards, so I'm doing colors. And that deck is only going to be able to have 1 color. Unless you're crazy and you want to have a multicolor deck. I'm not sure if that would really be good or what. I would say just stick with 1 color. Now, each deck is going to have around 45 cards. I don't know if you can I haven't decided whether or not you can add more cards to the deck, but I think 45 is a good minimum for now. And that's what the official decks are going to be sized. Now, how you win. So, each player is going to have a castle card and 2 tower cards. Each of them is going to have, let's say, 1200 power. Probably more than that, I don't know. The power is HP. So, a card's power is how much HP they have. Got it? Okay. Now, you win the game if you destroy your opponent's castle. But before you can destroy their castle, you have to destroy both of their towers. And how you destroy towers in the castle is with your character cards. They are like the Pokemon in Pokemon cards. They have a skill, and some of them have special abilities. But they all also have power, which is their HP, and damage, which is their damage. Now, what I mean by skills is let me just show you the cards. It'll be so much easier if I just show you the cards I've already made. Okay, so this is Fisherman Miles, the first, I guess you could say, stage of the Miles Trio card and set. So like in Pokemon cards, you can pretty much evolve your cards. But what I meant by skill is this right here. When this card reaches half or less power, you may sacrifice it to give your castle and 2 towers 2 times this card's current power. Does not apply for overhealing. That's its skill. So it's kind of like an ability, but specific towards the character. And the ability, and by abilities, I mean like this. This is Harmonized Miles, the second stage. Oh, and you can tell that the stage by the number in that shield right there. The shield is the symbol for the character cards. So if it was like say a tool card, it would have like a wrench or something there. Anyway, so his ability is Snipe, which, like I said earlier, means he can wait, did I say it earlier? I don't think I said it earlier, but basically the Snipe ability means that he can hit cards with the Flight ability. Cards with the Flight ability can only be hit by cards with the Flight ability or the Snipe ability. So, his Snipe ability comes from his laser eyes. Also, every time you evolve a card, their skill gets stronger. When this card reaches half or less power, you may sacrifice it to give your castle and 2 towers 2 times this card's current power. Does not apply for overhealing. Okay, well, that's what the abilities and skills are, but what about special traits? Okay. Let me get a card with a special trait. Okay. This is a big bad wolf pack mate. He has the ability, the special trait, Stack Beast. Stack Beasts are pretty much just cards that can stack on top of each other. So, and usually that affects like a combo or their skill, for instance. Like, look, he does 0 damage when he doesn't have any other wolves stacked on top of him. But, thanks to his skill, for each big bad wolf pack mate stacked on top of each other, this card stack the card stack is this stack of stack beasts. This card stack gains 100 more damage. Whenever the card stack loses its 200 power, which is the wolf's basic power, put the top card of the stack in your discard pile and change the card stack's damage accordingly. So basically, you have to kill the cards in the card stack one by one, which makes it pretty hard. So yeah, that's the skills, abilities, and special traits, and that's how they work. Okay, now that I have explained how the cards work, I'm going to explain how the decks work. Now, I have already established that there aren't types yet, there are only colors, and that each deck's minimum amount of cards will be 45, unless changed later, but there's more to them than that. So, the decks will be split up, the amount of cards in each deck will be split up between different types of cards. The character cards will take up most of the space, I'm thinking. And then there will be other cards like, tools maybe, or actions, spells. I haven't really decided yet. Maybe I'll combine all 3 of those into one type of card. And I haven't decided yet whether or not I want locations or stadiums like there are in other TCGs. But yeah. So, and just so you know, The black card deck will only really be containing the fairy tale villains and monsters. I don't really think black will, like, suit, like, I don't know, like a Cinderella or anything like that. You know, it's black, okay? Cinderella can go hang out with purple or whatever. Oh, also, each deck will have a base character. So, I have chosen green, purple, and red to each have evolving character cards, and then yellow, blue, and black will each have a stack beast as their main card, as their base character card. Oh, also, those are the six colors I chose, by the way. Purple, green, red, blue, yellow, and black. There are 6.
Okay, so these are the 3 Miles cards, which are the 3 base cards for the green deck, 2 of which you've already seen, but the third one you have not. This is Noble Miles. His skill is actually pretty overpowered when you think about it. Okay, at any time this card is in play, you may sacrifice it to give your castle and 2 towers 3 times this card's current power. Does not apply for overhealing. Okay, this is Austin's trilogy of cards. Unlike the Miles cards, you have not even seen any of these. So let's start out with the first one. Blacksmith Austin. This card deals an extra 100 damage if the target has nature or ice affinity. Oh, just so you know, affinities are special traits like Stack Beast. They just, they're connected to skills like this one. And okay, he has 200 he does 200 damage and has 200 power. Nice, Blacksmith Austin. Okay, but once he puts his ruby ring on, or in this case he gets evolved, he's Harmonized Austin with double the damage and plus 100 to his power. Okay. And his special trait is Fire Affinity. This card deals an extra 200 damage if the target has nature or ice affinity. Okay, that's pretty good. But his third stage is overpowered against nature and ice affinity cards. Okay, Noble Austin with 500 power, 500 damage, and fire affinity. But if this card, this card deals an extra 300 damage if the target has nature or ice affinity. That means this card does a whopping 800 damage to ice and nature affinity cards. That is absolutely insane. And like, just look at that guy's sword. Like, no wonder he's doing so much damage. Okay, it's time for the base purple cards, which is Quinley. Like Austin, you have not seen any of her stages, so let's start with the first one. Farmer Quinley. She has 300 power, does 100 damage, and her ability, or her skill, is sacrifice this card to give one of your characters 100 power. Does not apply for overhealing. So, that's decent, I guess. I mean, not the best, I guess, but stage 2, Harmonized Quinley. Double the damage plus 100 to her power. Okay. Sacrifice any card to give one of your characters 200 power. Does not apply as overhealing. Okay, that's better, at least. You don't actually have to sacrifice her. Okay, now, Noble Quinley. Plus 100 to her damage, and plus 200 to her power. And her skill is, whenever one of your cards is sacrificed or defeated, meaning like they get killed by one of your opponent's cards, give this character plus up to 2 other characters 200 power. Does not apply as overhealing. Okay, now this one is really, really good. Because it can literally give up to 3 of your cards plus 200 power. And you don't even have to, like, willingly sacrifice one of your cards. Like, if they just get defeated, then boom. That's actually pretty good. That is so good for you. Okay, well, you've already seen the Black Deck's base card. It's the Big Bad Wolf Packmate, so I don't really have to explain anything for this one, but I guess I'll just go through it anyway. He has 200 power, does 0 damage, his special trait is Stack Beast, and for each Big Bad Wolf Packmate stacked on top of each other, this card okay, basically, for every one of this card stacked on top of each other, plus 100 to his damage. That is, stacking them is the only way they are going to be doing any damage. But, like, say, like, if you have, like, 8 stacked on one another, that's 800 damage. And, yeah, okay, that's pretty good, but if you don't stack them, then they're pretty useless. Okay, time for Blue's basic, base card. It's the Daggerfish. They're pretty much just tiny versions of swordfish that travel in schools. It does 100 damage and has 100 power. Now, it's also a stack beast, but unlike the wolf, it doesn't get stronger when you stack them on top of each other. I made this card to serve as more of like a combo card for like something I'll put in the blue deck. I'm not quite sure yet, but also, it doesn't even have a skill. It is by far the most useless card in the game. It doesn't even have a skill. It just has a quote. Okay. Daggerfish are pretty much just tiny versions of swordfish, but what they lack in size, they more than make up with their power in numbers, for their schools are bigger than any swordfish when put together. The Pied Piper's Guide to Magical Creatures. Okay, last but definitely not least, yellow. Okay, we got the Pixie. Okay. You might not think that's yellow, it's more of an amber, like a mix of yellow and orange, but I'm calling it yellow, okay? You can't, what are you gonna do? The border is yellow already, so I had to make that look different, okay? She does 100 damage, has 200 power, her special trait is Stack Beast, because I think fairies might, like, travel in, like groups, like, kind of like fireflies, okay? Or bees or whatever. At any time this card is in play, you may sacrifice the top card of this card stack, and for each card in the card stack, give your castle and 2 towers 100 power. Does not apply for overhealing. So, that's really good. Say, like, you have, like, 5 of those stacked up, then you sacrifice the top one. That would be healing 500 power to your towers and castle. So this is actually a miraculous, literally miraculous card.
If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and I really hope that you decide to join this interesting journey of mine by watching the upcoming episodes for this series. And well, with that, I guess I'll see you next time.